Hey guys, welcome to the show. Subscribe, rate, and review. Tell a friend. My name, if you don't know me, is Keith Reza. I'm a stand up comedian. I'm very, very funny. I'm also a huge John Cusack fan. And this is my quest to interview him someday on my podcast called Reza Riffs. I want to be his best friend. So this is my quest. Welcome to the show. This is the opening remarks, and usually they have like a funny, catchy song. So I'm going to sing it to you. Ready? Okay. I'm searching. I'm searching. I'm searching for John Cusack. He's searching. He's searching. He's searching for John Cusack to do Razor Riffs. Hey, hey guys, welcome to Searching with John Cusack, or Searching for John Cusack. I'm Keith Reza. I got a lot of good vibes on the first episode. Thank you so much. Uh no lawsuits yet. Always good. Had a bit of a scare. My father, he sent me a email saying, "Hey, John Cusack might sue you if you're using his likeness without his permission and stuff." And I didn't, and to be honest, I didn't even think about that. So I had to you know, uh what's that word? Shadow his face around. So it's not John Cusack. And I can neither confirm nor deny if the logo is John Cusack, but the show is called Searching for John Cusack. Anyways, I did get a lot of good vibes on the first episode. A lot of people said it was funny, and they said that it was a different type of comedy, and I appreciate that. I like people who get my sense of humor. Um, so yeah, I got the hiccups, man. Anyways, today's guest, well, it's not really a guest, but it's a segment. Jennifer Tilly did a little talking about working with the great JC, and she worked with him in this 1994 movie called Bullets Over Broadway, which was directed and written by Woody Allen. Now, Bullets Over Broadway. Now, here's the synopsis of that film. Okay, so I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm gonna see if I could try and remember. So basically, John Cusack, the great John Cusack, wrote a play, right? And he finally got it sold to be produced, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome. My play's finally going to get produced." And Jack Warden, I believe is his name. Jack Warden is his manager, right? And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get your play produced." And he's like, "Oh, that's cool." So then they get the play produced, right? But the only problem is the person who could produce the play, who's like really rich, is like this mob guy, right? And this mob guy said, "Hey, I'll give you money to put on your play, but you have to put in my woman as the lead actress." And the Jack Warden's like, "Okay, that's cool. We just gotta get it produced." And so John Cusack gets like a Hollywood A-list celebrity. This is like the 1940s. You know what I mean? So plays were really, really big. So like celebrity, like movies weren't that big, but plays were big. So like if you were a celebrity in the 1940s, or maybe movies were big back then. I don't know. But for the sake of this movie, movies were not big, right? And the celebrity, like the big celebrities, were based on plays. So John Cusack gets like the Julia Roberts of plays, right? Like the number one actress, right? And she was played by Diane Wiest. I believe that's her name. And I think she won an Academy Award actually for it. And then that pissed the mob guy off. He's like, "Hey, wait a second. What about my woman? She's going to be in it." And then they put the mob guy's woman, played by the great Jennifer Tilly, in as Olive Neal. And Olive Neal is like the side, you know, and she can't really act, but Jennifer Tilly played her so good. She was so funny. You should definitely check this out because Jennifer Tilly's performance alone made the movie, in my opinion. You know, JC was great, but JT was awesome. She was the funniest one, followed by JC. You know what I mean? And so then John Cusack's like, all right, fine. So the play, they're rehearsing the play, right? And it's just going to shit, 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 shit. You know, because Olive can't act, and you know the other guy in the movie, he's like, oh, he's just getting fat and eating and stuff. And John Cusack's just having a hard time because basically this play is produced by the mob, right? And the mob guy sends like the hitman Cheech, right? I forgot who played him, but his name was Cheech. I remember that because it scared me. It was a scary name. And Cheech like helps John Cusack rewrite the play during this whole thing. So it's just really really funny, and it's like a black comedy. Like I said, it was Woody Allen. It was nominated for a couple Academy Awards, and John Cusack was just really funny in it. And it was a great movie. You know, it's I would say out of all the John Cusack movies, it's definitely in my top 15. I obviously, you know, I have a huge love for Serendipity and Must Love Dogs. And Bullets Over Broadway was funny because it wasn't like an original John Cusack movie. Like John Cusack isn't really being the romantic sweet guy. You know what I mean? He's being a romantic, but he's being like a playwright romantic. You know what I mean? Plus, it was made in 1994. But I watched it and I loved it. You know, so it was a great film. It's called Bullets Over Broadway, 1994. It starred John Cusack, Diane West. I'm actually googling it right now. Jennifer Tilly, Jack Warden, Chaz Palminteri, and Rob Reiner. So yeah, it was written directed by Woody Allen. Bullets Over Broadway, and this is the conversation with the great Jennifer Tilly on what it was like working with the great JC. Guys, if you like this episode, subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend. If you know John Cusack, send it to him, man. We got to get him on. I hope John Cusack knows I love him very much and he's my hero. And that's all you can do is pray, hope, and keep doing your dream. You know, when people push you down, you got to push up and you got to do what it takes to make it happen. Kind of like Bullets Over Broadway, where John Cusack was pushed down over and over again by his play. Nobody wanted to make it, but a mobster said, hey, I'll make it if you do this one thing. So maybe that's the plot of this month's episode of Searching with John Cusack. You know, I will interview John Cusack if I do this one episode. Or maybe not, but one could hope. All right, guys, subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, and enjoy episode 2 of Searching for John Cusack. And I wanted to know, in your words, what was it like working with the great JC?
Oh, I was like, did I work with him? Yes, I did. I've worked with so many people I can't remember. Bullets Over Broadway. Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved working with him. Woody Allen, there were a few actors that he liked to let improvise, and I was one of them, and John was another one. But you had to guess if you were one of the people, because some of the people he didn't want them to improvise at all. And you kind of had to look around and guess if you were one of the chosen few. John was, I remember he was a little bit nervous in the beginning. And he's like, because we were all, we all wanted Woody's approval. That was in the golden days of Woody, of course. And I remember once we saw Diane Wiest, and she was talking to Woody. She's making a little chit chat, and she was laughing, and Woody was laughing. And she came back to us, and we were all like, how did you think of something to say to him? And she's like, well, I've done, a lot of movies with him. So, I feel kind of comfortable with him. She says, but I'm still feel kind of, you never know. You don't want to bother him. Like Woody Allen only referred to me as Olive. Like I went to see him play his play at Michael's Pub. And I honestly thought, I was so astonished when he came up to me and said, oh, Jennifer, thanks for coming. I have to run now because fans. I was like, this is after 2 months of filming. I thought, Woody knows my name. I
Yeah.
had no idea. I thought out of costume, but I did have the red hair. I dyed my hair red, but he'd always say, Olive, why don't you do this? And Olive, it's time to light up. But John Cusack, he was nervous and he goes, oh, I don't know if Woody likes me. I'm just like, I'm always afraid of, I think he even said I was afraid, Woody is notorious for being fired. This might be writer's embellishment, but he might have even said, I'm just kind of afraid of like getting replaced. I said, Woody loves you. He goes, how do you know? And I go, well, this is the second movie that you've been in. You wouldn't cast you in another movie if he didn't love you, Woody Allen movie. And I said, and you have the Woody Allen part. He goes, I do. Like it had never occurred to him. I go, yeah, the nervous playwright. It's like I go that's the Woody Allen part. And
Yeah.
then after that, his mannerisms got more and more Woody Allen-esque. Like after that, he just started getting a little more sort of like flustered and nervous. But he was great in that. He was the linchpin around which all the insanity revolved. My ex-husband Sam said, every great comedy, you remember the crazies, but you have to have somebody that's the normal one. He said on Taxi, that's Judd Hirsch. So,
Yeah.
you remember Danny DeVito and you remember Reverend Jim, and, they're all wacky. You have to have the fish out of water in the center of it. And so that's what John Cusack was in. He's coming into this crazy world of actors, and actors are absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous. But he's a normal person going, why is everybody acting like this? Like just, he's like Dorothy in the middle of the side club. But I loved working with him. He's great.
Yeah, he's like my hero in the acting business. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like when Norm and Saget were alive, because we all had podcasts, we all were like, all right, because we all had this weird John Cusack obsession.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all like, all right, the first one who gets Cusack, the other people have to buy us hot dogs or something. So
Well, there you go.
unfortunately, I'm the only one standing. So,
I will
but
buy you hot dogs if you get Cusack, and I will
oh,
get you
that'd be
all beef
awesome.
hot dogs too. I'm not gonna get you those hot dogs with filler. Hot dogs, hot dogs with onions and sauerkraut or whatever you like, Keith.
All right, we'll get them.